How did I end up here, staring at a divorce petition that felt heavier than the Chicago skyline pressing down on our condo? It all started with the meditation retreats. 1 week in a month, my wife Sarah would go to what she called a digital detox, a silent retreat up in Lake Geneva. No phones allowed. It was her sanctuary, her time to recharge from her high-stress job in finance. I supported it, of course. I thought it was healthy. But as I sat there in our living room on North Clark Street, the afternoon sun glinting off the glass, I knew that sanctuary was a lie. Her phone, the one she wasn't supposed to have, buzzed on the coffee table with a text that laid her betrayal bare. "Cue and wait for our next meditation, babe." Last weekend was incredible. Michael, her boss. The smug, silver-haired, snake-eyed shaking hands with at company parties. The world tilted. Our 10 years together, our shared dreams, the home we built in Lincoln Park, it all felt like a movie set, and I was the only one who didn't know the script. The humiliation was a physical thing, a hot coil tightening in my gut. Suddenly, all her recent behavior clicked into place like a cruel puzzle. The late nights at the office, she claimed, were for a big merger. The new expensive lingerie, she said, was to spice things up for us, but that I'd only seen once. Her sudden coldness, the way she'd flinch when I'd touch her, blaming it on stress. She was a master manipulator, weaving a web of lies so intricate I never suspected a thing. She and Michael must have felt untouchable, laughing at the clueless husband back home. I remember one night I'd waited up with her favorite dinner, and she'd breezed in past midnight, smelling faintly of a cologne that wasn't mine. She just patted my cheek and said, "You're so sweet, but I'm exhausted." The casual dismissal stung more than any argument could have. That night, after seeing the text, I collapsed. Not with a shout, but with a silent, gut-wrenching sob that shook my whole body. I felt pathetic, a fool. But as the hours bled into dawn, something inside me shifted. The grief hardened into something cold and sharp. Rage. I wasn't just going to leave. I was going to dismantle the life she'd built on my trust. The next day, I acted normal. I kissed her goodbye as she left for work, the picture of a devoted husband. Then, I went to work myself. I hired the best private investigator in Chicago and a ruthless divorce attorney. My instructions were simple: get me everything. For months, I played the part. I listened to her stories about her spiritual growth, nodding along while the P.S. reports filled my inbox with photos of her and Michael at fancy restaurants, weekend trips, and entering a luxury apartment he kept on Lakeshore Drive. The evidence was irrefutable, a mountain of deceit. The final retreat was approaching. This time, I was ready. I systematically moved half our joint savings into a new account my lawyer had set up. I contacted her firm's HR department anonymously, providing a detailed dossier of Michael's inappropriate relationship with a subordinate, complete with times, dates, and photographic proof of them using company funds for their trysts. Finally, I planned a little get-together for the day after she was due back. I invited our closest friends, and most importantly, her parents, who adored me and believed their daughter was a saint. She walked in on Sunday evening, glowing and refreshed from her weekend with her lover. She saw the guests and her smile faltered for a second. "What's all this?" she asked, forcing a cheerful tone. I smiled back, a cold, empty smile. "Just a little celebration," I said, my voice steady. "Celebration of truth." Then, I projected the first picture onto the large screen we used for movie nights. It was her and Michael, kissing on a hotel balcony in Miami, dated from her yoga retreat 2 months prior. The room went silent. Her face went from confused to shocked to a pale mask of horror. I let the slideshow continue, photo after photo, text message after text message. Her parents stared, mouths agape. Our friends looked away, embarrassed. I didn't say another word. I just let the evidence speak for me. Her carefully constructed world crumbled in minutes. She tried to stammer out an explanation, but the proof was overwhelming. Her father, a man I respected deeply, just looked at her with pure disappointment and walked out, her mother following in tears. The next day she was fired. Michael was fired. Their affair became company gossip, and her social circle evaporated overnight. The divorce was swift and brutal. With the infidelity clause and proof of her using joint funds, The judge awarded me the condo, the majority of our assets, and she was left with her lies and a mountain of legal fees. Sometimes I stand in this same living room, watching the city lights flicker to life. The silence is profound. I won, I destroyed her, but the victory tastes like ash in my mouth. The end. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows.